Hello, welcome to Be the Glitter, where we queers talk about tough topics with giggles and leave inspiration that sticks. Today's episode is with the fabulous and creative and so down to earth Evelyn McBride. She's an incredible artist and muralist with incredible representation, a fabulous identity story, and a really great attitude about how to show up in the world with such a joy for pride colors. So let's dive in, get some glitter, and enjoy everything that Evelyn McBride has to share. Welcome to Be the Glitter, Evelyn. I'm so glad that you're here, that we connected on Hey Fam, our new favorite alternative to LinkedIn.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited, to chat with you.
Fantastic. I just love everything you're doing. I think it would be wonderful if you introduced yourself, how you'd like to be known, and share your pronouns, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Evelyn McBride. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a graphic designer muralist. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio, but just moved to Baltimore, Maryland. But yeah, I do a lot of vibrant, very vector-like art and illustrations, as well as paintings. And yeah, I love painting in art festivals, and working with queer businesses and queer folks. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
It's fantastic. I love your identity story. I love your art story. And I absolutely love how one mural at a time, you're helping create some positive social change. We will dive into exactly what kind of artist you are, why you love to use the colors that you do, but also how you are bringing representation really out there in the forefront in a way that nobody can ignore. But if you don't mind, first, before we talk about all that fun stuff, sharing a bit of your identity journey, because I think not only is that inspirational for everybody, but I think we can all find some common ground in it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think like growing up, it's funny because now in hindsight, the closet was absolute glass. So it should have been obvious, but I didn't have very much representation of queer identities or trans identities until I got to art school. And it was that kind of point, like pandemic era, where I was starting to really like explore it. And actually my first internship out of college is the first time actually at a creative event, with CSCA in Columbus, where I saw there was a speaker using they, them pronouns, and that really got the gears turning of, like, that's something that's possible, like, so yeah, I
See?
started using they, them pronouns and just gradually, like, yeah, fully transitioned and look where I'm at right now.
Okay, I absolutely love every single sentence that you said as its own little soundbite. I think so many people listening to this are like, "Oh, yes, uh-huh, uh-huh." I mean, I love that you said the closet may have well been glass.
Yes.
I that resonated with me right away because when I came out as bi and a writer at the same time, absolutely nobody was surprised. And here I thought it was gonna be some earth-shaking thing. And you've had so many other wonderful little nuggets in there, like, you had no good representation of what queer identities look like until you got to art school.
Oh, yeah.
What a great safe place to learn how to express yourself and, I guess, fight against the norm, right?
Definitely. Yeah. No, I love the environment. I went to the Columbus College of Art and Design, and yeah, it had definitely such an inclusive environment that was like I was finally was like around other kind of creative people and people who also were exploring identities and sexualities. And I was like, oh, this is actually like a thing. Because I grew up in just kind of like a very like, I really just had 0 awareness of anything outside of the straight and norm, but it should have been obvious. I played Juliet in my middle school production of Romeo and Juliet. Should have been obvious, but
Let's just take the words should out
mm,
because those are judgment words. we're going to just let those judgment words dissolve. So it's okay. It's okay. And I love that you got
Oh,
to be Juliet. That's awesome. Way
yeah.
to go. Whoever was directing that was like, yeah, you're going to be Juliet. That's fantastic.
I was at a private Christian school for like a couple years, and it was during that period of time, and I'm like, that's such a very progressive thing, I guess, for that
Yeah,
kind of environment.
that's fantastic. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. This just that is inspirational. And I'm so glad for you that you were able to find freedom to explore in many different ways.
Absolutely.
So what else did you learn in art school? Because obviously that was a very formative time in your life and has helped you be who you are on many different levels.
Yeah, I think it was great. It also really got me out of like my just shell in general, getting to like meet and just like make friends with other creative folks.
Yeah,
So I think that was really formative. And then also just I learned a lot of art stuff. I fell in love with I use a lot of like Adobe products and like Adobe Illustrator for mocking up
yeah.
like all my work. And that's been amazing. I use it pretty much every day since the pandemic. So that's been helpful. And yeah, I think it definitely helped me be more confident too in my work.
Oh, I love that. Who doesn't love a little bit of confidence where we didn't have it before?
Oh yeah.
I imagine that so much of what you learned in that environment has informed your work.
I think it was also a very weird time. It was during the pandemic was most of it. So it was a lot of like remote learning.
Mhm.
So I definitely think it was an interesting time to be in school and kind of trying to learn that and still be connected socially. It's funny that my portfolio graduating was just like there was so many pictures of like my dining room table of like a mock-up or something, or I was just like, it's in this project, in this one, because I did.
Well, that's hilarious for me to hear because now what you do is completely outside of your dining room table. You are painting murals.
Yes,
And you have fabulous representation on these murals in very public places. And you have a very specific color palette. Do you mind talking a little bit how you went from dining room table to more figurative work that's much more representational and definitely has certain messages in mind?
yeah, absolutely. I think definitely since then and till kind of now, my art has gotten like a lot more vibrant. It's a lot more colorful than it used to be, and I kind of almost associate that with being more comfortable in just my general life.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, I use a lot of like inspiration from Pride, flags, to symbolism. I got hooked on using the bi flag like color palette for a while, and I start every illustration with it, and I have to stop because all my pieces are in the same color palette.
But that's kind
Um,
of your branding now, right? I think we can
no,
see your mural and see those colors and go, oh, yeah, that's Evelyn McBride's work.
and I love like the pinks and the tones of it, and I love it because I used it for a piece which I titled Xena, and it became a mural in a mural festival. And I actually it was kind of like a fierce feminine energy to it, and just kind of lesbian symbolism. I feel like a lot of that went unnoticed, but I was like, there's all the little trying to think the two-sided acts, the labrises is very like it's trying to be fierce, but still very queer.
I love that. But do you really think it went unnoticed? Really?
I like to think that sometimes people do come up and they're like, "Oh, that's the bicolors," and I'm like, "Yes, it is. Okay, thank you."
Yes, and there's a reason why your work has grown into the vibrant representational murals that you're doing now. There's a reason you've been invited into the public scene. You're getting some amazing testimonials from your clients, but also just from the general public who are just literally running into your work and going, oh, wow. Oh, this stands out. Do you mind talking a little bit about those experiences?
Definitely. I think It's great when people see themselves kind of represented in a mural or a piece that I'm working on. I think one of my fondest memories is I kind of was working with my wife, who works a lot in like gerontology and older adults. We made a chalk mural, and it was just an older lesbian couple, and the tagline was, um, it was about growing together and kind of the love around that, just kind of growing older together. And there was a
Gosh.
lesbian couple. I was really early too of like exploring gender and just kind of, but they came up and they pointed at it and they said, "That's us." And they took a photo with it. And it
I
just kind of
love
like
that.
didn't occur to me of like how much people can see themselves. Cause you're like, I just drew this and I didn't really have anyone in mind, but people can come up and just be like, yeah, they see the part of themselves in that.
I love that. I'm wearing a thick sweater with a blouse and a shirt, and I am in total goosebump mode right now. That is just so beautiful. You said you didn't have anybody in mind, but if you and your wife were working on this chalk mural together, you must have been inspired at least by your love and feeling the magic of it being so strong and beautiful that it could be evergreen. You could dream of growing old together. Is that a stretch?
Oh, no, not at all. I feel like a lot of these are just like feelings I have. And then like I, of course, am like looking at through my perspective, but then seeing someone else's perspective of how they relate to just that emotion or just kind of what I was trying to convey. It's really fun. And I love when people come up and they give their thoughts on it.
And I imagine what an interesting experience seeing a couple who not only sees themselves in the mural that you and your wife did, but did you see your future selves in them?
Yes. I mean, I do that, I think, with every like lesbian couple. I'm always just like, eventually.
But it also sounds like you're very much self aware and enjoying the present moments as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Time for sponsor love. Our glitter bomb sponsor of Be the Glitter is Midwest Mujeres, host of Yo Quiero Dinero, which celebrates the voices of Latina and Black women entrepreneurs. Together, we uplift the power of narrative as a path to healing and collective liberation. Find the tickets at www.midwestmujeres.com for November 8th at the My Arts Theater in Madison, Wisconsin. Links in the show notes. Mil gracias, Midwest Mujeres. Back to Be the Glitter. So tell me more because you've been hired to do some work for others. You mind talking about some of those projects, who you worked for and why?
Yeah. Right now I'm excited. Right now I'm working with a queer couple, older lesbian couple actually. They own a community fridge here in Maryland, and I'm very excited to be kind of bring some color to that, make it very pop. And I think especially right now, those kind of community resources are really, really important. So I'm really excited to be brings kind of an artistic perspective to that.
And for
Love
those
projects
who
like
are
those.
hearing this for the first time, like what is a community fridge?
Yes, I was also I knew like food pantries and like thing, but it's literally they have a fridge set up. They've got restaurants, local restaurants, and people cook meals and donate to this, and they'll stock the fridge just so people can like no judgment, just come by and grab a meal. And I love that, and that's such a thing here in Maryland. I They have a whole network of them, and of course I
Wow.
just moved here, but I'm like this is new and I love it.
I love that that's how you get welcomed into the community as well. That this lesbian couple is like, "Oh, hey, love your work. Let's let's have you, add some vibrancy." What great advertising as well to add those colors and that welcoming look to their community fridge. So what are you doing for the community fridge?
It's like we're still actually like talking direction, but we want to make it just welcoming. It's definitely a bit out of town, like the area, like they're a little concerned about just like how accepting it is. So we're trying to keep it just very like generally. I think we're gonna have just like a lot of non-judgmental like messaging, kind of in multiple languages, just encouraging people to come by and grab food if they need it.
Oh, I love that. And don't you just love that that's what your art can do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely a few years ago, I don't think I would foreseen that being like, but I love that that's where it's at.
Also, from our previous conversations, I heard so much healing for you in the experiences you had, not only in art school, but also the experiences you had making the art itself, choosing the representation that you're choosing. Obviously, color therapy is its own thing. Receiving such wonderful praise from random people off the street sometimes and your clients, there does seem to be some healing in the general community as well. So, in your perspective, how is art healing, especially for the queer community?
Yeah, I think it's like really such a great tool to be able to put kind of your emotions and your feelings just on paper in any sort of medium. And I mean, art therapy is such a big thing. And I mean, I use it a lot. I feel like a lot of mine has been, my work has been very positive. Like I've been feeling a lot of queer joy in the last couple years, especially just with and I feel like that's really reflective and great, but also for like venting, art is just such a great tool for that as well. Um, I think even as a viewer, just if you seeing a piece where you can relate or just part of it resonates, like they just had a great exhibition that I'm really excited to go to at the Baltimore Museum of Art, but it has a trans Statue of Liberty, which they I think it wasn't allowed in the Smithsonian in DC, so they moved it here, which I'm very excited to go see that. But you see something like that and it's so moving and so healing to see.
I have a different opinion about the Smithsonian now. That is fascinating. Wow. I love that you mentioned art therapy. It is becoming more and more well known. People are tapping into it. What we're talking about in that is the process of making the art itself, right? You got to be surrounded by a bunch of super creative, probably very talented people in art school. You're surrounding yourself with talented and creative people outside of art school. I'm guessing that if somebody came to you and said, "Oh, I can't make art," I bet you would have something a little bit more encouraging to tell them.
Oh yeah, anyone can make art, and that's what um anyone I mean, there's so many accessible mediums too. Like there's so many things. I love trying different things and I'm terrible at I just started trying to make zines with some friends and they are so good at it and they're so like I love the amount of thought and care they put into it and I just cannot fold to save my life or do anything like fold paper. Yeah,
Make
anyone can
scenes?
make
Like what
art.
kind of scene? What do you mean
Oh,
with paper?
just like short little like self-printed zines and like
Oh, zines.
yes.
Magazines, zines. Yes, micro
Yeah.
zines. Yes. Oh,
Which I
yes.
mispronounced for the longest time of I think Zine.
Oh,
And
that's
I'm like
awesome.
someone was like I think for years I was like saying, you know, and just kind of in the art community, I was saying it to people's faces. And then someone was like, I heard it in a presentation. I was like, are you kidding me? It's pronounced that makes so much sense. But
Well, I thought you were saying scenes like scenes,
oh
like
yes, yeah.
in an art production or like a theater production. And it just goes to show that, right, everything from like somebody illustrating an adorable little micro Z that tells a story, gives a message, even advertises somebody's other thing, all the way to theater art where you're creating a huge set, or maybe not even a huge set, but this, I love that your cat is joining us.
You know, he heard me talking on a call and then he opened the door somehow, and now he's a part of this.
That's
So,
okay. We welcome all the fur babies too. What you don't
but abs
see and why I always have this virtual background is because my office bed is behind me, and inevitably there's at least one dog curled up, stretching. They might even sit and stare at me and it's like, come on, like get off the computer. Yeah. They'll jump down and poke me in the back of the leg. And yeah, so fur babies are welcome.
oh
So,
yeah,
yes,
well,
art therapy, and anyone can make art. And what, in your mind, is the definition of art for the sake of people who need this so badly right now? I think so many people especially those who are feeling marginalized, those who are feeling like they aren't seen or don't want to be seen, those who feel like they don't belong need art right now. And I know you
Absolutely.
agree with that.
Yes. Yeah, it's such an important, like, as just marginalized communities, like, absolutely, we need to take up space and, like, just all things art, like, sharing stories and through whatever mediums. Like, I just read, um I've been reading a lot more, like, trans nonfiction, and it's just so important that, like, those kinds of stories are being, like, told, and no matter, like, what, that we need to take up space.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Trans fiction and nonfiction. I'm obsessing about so much of it right now. I love Erica Vogel's Advice from Your Trans Auntie. Have you
Ooh,
seen
yeah.
that yet?
I
Oh my
haven't.
gosh. That's such a good book. And Amelia J. Michael has this huge tome of a book called Inclusion at Work. It's like the ginormous manual that everyone needs to read if they work in any kind of workplace. It's a whole section that you can download for free that's just the vocabulary you need to learn and why. And then, of course, going back to the Gen X world, Nevada by
Oh,
Imogen
yes.
Binney. A friend of mine had suggested I get the audiobook so I can hear her voice telling the story. I honestly do not know how many times I've listened to it. It's possibly up in the 20s. I love that book so, so much. And I'll take
Yeah.
any recommendations of what you're reading so I can add it to my bookshelf.
Yeah. I, Nevada was, like, one of the first, like, books with, like, trans queer representation when I was first kind of and, yeah, it's such a great book.
Good. It's just so good. It's so good. Yeah,
I just finished, Stag Dance by Tori Peters, which is like um, a bunch of short story, like, fiction, and very good, very and, like, I'm still thinking about a lot of, like, those stories.
love that.
And now I'm on to reading actually, there was a book talk here in Baltimore just a couple weeks ago, but, Best Woman by Rose Damu, which is I think it's like a more of a fiction rom, hopefully like a little more lighthearted than
See, and
but
that's
I'm
what you
so
need, the
excited.
balance, right? Do you
Yes,
too?
yes.
Because sometimes I'll be reading something and it's just like, oh gosh, okay. This is really important. Yep, need to read this. And I now need to laugh really hard. Like I need something
Yes,
that's like the literary version of hot chocolate.
literally, yes.
I need to walk into the local bookstore here, a room of one's own. They give the best recommendations. They're the ones who got me into, wait, I have it right here. Paul Takes the Form of a Mortal Girl.
Yes, that's also one I read kind of early on, and that's yeah, definitely
That one is my antidote to the depressing stuff. I'll go back to read that one. You've read that.
Oh,
Me too.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, yeah, that one also so early on. There was a moment, like, early on my transition, I was like, "Okay, I need as much literary representation as possible."
Yes. See, representation is so important. And that's why I love what you're doing with your art because you are bringing beautiful representation into your work.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to just like with a lot more personal work. Like since the move, I've been doing a lot more illustrative work. So including like trans, like reference, like including bodies of trans people into my work. And I'm very excited to explore that more because I had a few pieces at my recent art exhibition at Stonewall Columbus. And I just love seeing like references and artwork of people that look closer to me, which is something that I'm very passionate about. And then of course also all the pride colors. I've been experimenting more with other palettes too, but
I love the pansexual palette.
they're also like vibrant and fun. Like mostly like
Yeah.
there's always some like bright colors to use, and I love that.
Yeah. I probably should be into the lesbian colors too, because there's orange in there. And few of them have orange. And that's one of my favorite colors. They're super fun. What's next? Here you are healing through the process of your work, getting lots of acknowledgement and I dare say validation from the responses to your work. You light up so much when you talk about how the community is benefiting from your work. So I imagine that you're just encouraged to keep getting some murals out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely, I think since the move have been pivoting towards kind of deciding like what I want to work with. Because I
Yeah.
worked a lot for corporate for a few years and sometimes was only the only queer person in the room for those. But since moving, like working with Stonewall and working with like this community fridge, like working with queer people and more community, it's been so rewarding and just kind of it's been very fulfilling. So just it's been a very pivot in the best way of like just
Yeah.
figuring out kind of what makes me like feel most like fulfilled as an artist.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what advice do you have for other trans people or queer people in our community who don't feel seen and don't feel like they belong and are just kind of desperate for anything?
Yeah, I think definitely the best part about like creative communities is it's such a progressive and like accepting community generally. There's like amazing in-person like groups or virtual groups and organizations that are wonderful for connecting to resources to if you feel called to like create or share anything that you can find some of my best friends, mentors, and like opportunities have come from just getting involved in my local community. So I definitely suggest that. And I think it pays off so much to not always the easy thing to be visible, especially like at the moment, but it's been so rewarding overall that it's like I would suggest that just sharing your voices, sharing your experiences, and even if it's just for you too, just creating things.
Mhm, mhm, and I think I really love that addition, the acknowledgement that it is difficult to come out right now, um, and to be out and visible right now. However, it's less difficult when you're with safe people, and I
Absolutely.
I think the more we remind ourselves that we don't do life alone, we can't, and we're social animals, and it sometimes might feel safer to stay at home alone and just not deal with anybody. But I really think truly that how we protect our hearts and our minds and frankly our identity is to find the safe people that we can spend time with, go out with, um, do things together, help each other feel seen, feel belonging, and just live. We need to get out there living as hard as we can right now because who knows what's going to happen. So we might as well just live life as livingly as we can.
Absolutely. And I think that comes back to like why I think I love murals so much is it's really hard to avoid it. You're really taking up space. You're really kind of and in times like this, like you're gonna have to accept that the mural at your local coffee shop was painted by a trans woman. Like like we're
Uh-huh.
there, you know?
Yeah.
And I
And
think
it,
that's
it might
great.
be two non-binary people kissing.
Who knows? Yeah. Who
Yes.
knows what we'll do next?
Oh yeah, I've got to start reading Jeffrey Marsh's books too. Total
Mm.
side note. Yeah. So you have some beautiful advice for those in our community. How about advice for allies?
Allies? I think just if just support if you have any visible like trans friends or people that you follow, just like understanding it's a difficult time and trying to even just share work or just share and support events goes a really long way. And I think also um I mean, don't be afraid to ask questions in settings that I recently just did a panel with OSU where it was just folks who've never met a trans person asking questions. And in the best way possible, they were the most like down to earth and logistical questions. They just were genuinely just like how we live. It was so respectful. And I think it was really eye-opening hearing that because they just people they care about you and they're just trying to like and I think just being like involved in that way is so lovely.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. And that's just it. I think in this day and age, we have so many resources at our disposal. And the more we recognize that we're all humans, we're just trying to figure out life.
No, yeah.
We have so many gifts to learn from each other. And I think you have such beautiful gifts to teach everybody. Any community that you touch is going to feel the ripple effects of your art and your messages and your representation and taking up space as beautifully as you do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And yes, and that kind of goes for anyone too. The ripple effect is stronger than you know and creates such positive impact.
So true. So true. So, what gratitude do you have to share? Who deserves a shout out from you?
Yes. Okay. So I like knew this and like right off the bat was like my wife. She's my longest supporter. We've been together since freshman year of high school and um we got married in 2021 and she's been just supportive of one, just my art since like day one, and then also my identity. She's amazing.
Goosebumps. All goosebumps.
And also my like friends who are pretty much just my chosen family at this point, and we do like holidays together. We just went on a trip together, and they're really like so close to just being my family. But even across states,
I love
and
it.
yeah, and people who deserve gratitude are just any queer folks who show up right now. Like in general, it's I have so much respect for everyone who puts themselves out there.
I love that so much. So, what can we do to help you, Evelyn McBride? You're so
Yeah.
worthy of so much support and love. Like, what can we do to help you?
I mean, I always love working with any queer folks. I mean, any sort of visual art or murals, I would love to like help. I love meeting queer creatives, so please just say hi or send me your work. I love seeing it. Um, and yeah, I just follow along my work. I'm excited to work on some more illustrator projects later this year, especially as it gets colder, a lot more inside work. So very excited to share that later this year.
So, you might be interested in a full cover book cover design project?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Like a choose your own adventure style book about a trans person who grew up Mormon in Utah?
That sounds amazing, and I wanna read it.
I have the task of writing it, and like I did with my other book, when I pay somebody to, do the cover, then I force myself to finish the book.
That is so real.
And I feel so devoted to my friend. There's just so much beauty that's coming out of this, and we can feel this future ripple effect of getting this book out there. So, yeah.
That gave me chills because I am also, like, this winter working something that's very similar artistically like that, and I'm like, ugh, just I'm so excited, and I don't wanna say anything because it's so, like but I'm like, also, it's work that's important. It's so important.
Yes. Okay, so fair warning, the 2 of us might have to, like, either get on Discord or something where we're just, like, nerding out together out in the winter with our
Yes,
fur babies around us, like, are you okay
literally.
with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, Evelyn, you are such a joy. You're a beautiful, beautiful person. Your work is so gorgeous. Anyone who is listening to this needs to check the show notes for the links that are going to be on there to see Evelyn's work and to contact her for future work. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. I can't wait to see some more photos of the projects that you're currently working on and how they're going to show up for everybody else to see. Gosh, let's just keep making waves, Evelyn, right? Let's just keep making waves.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's like I'm pounding water, I guess, with my hands. Like we are making ripple effects of change.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this has been such a lovely conversation too. I've had so much fun.
Well, I love this too because you're exciting. I look forward to more conversations with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm so excited. I love chatting with you. So have a great weekend.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you loved Evelyn McBride anywhere near as much as I did. And you'll have to check out her website and all of her socials. She's on all the cool socials too, like Tumblr and Dribble. So I just love her total quiet anarchy. And of course, we love it when you share your love for Be the Glitter as well. Subscribe, give us some stars, positive reviews, share it with a friend. All of this makes such a big difference. You never know, somebody needs to hear any of these guests. It could save a life. Sending you lots of love. Way to be the glitter.